Anteroabdominal wall and inguinal canal. लगभग जीआईटी छ कि अब एक दुईटा टपिक बाँकी छ जीआईटी को है त एन्टेरोएब्डोमिनल वाल. Any idea about anteroabdominal wall? कसैलाई के आइडिया छ? So these are the landmarks of anteroabdominal wall. This is a xiphoid process, costal margin. This is the tip of the 9 costal cartilage. This is the linea alba. This is the umbilicus. This is the iliac crest, pubic tubercle, pubic symphysis. This is the linea semilunaris, and these are the tendinous intersection. Tendinous intersection means 6-pack abs हुन्छ नि. Salman Khan. So Salman Khan, Amir Khan, you know, Hrithik Roshan, 6-pack ab. So these are produced by this tendinous intersection of the muscle. So these are the landmarks of anteroabdominal wall. Next is the plane. Planes and regions of abdomen. So this is the 2 horizontal and 2 vertical planes divide the anteroabdominal wall into 9 regions. You know? 2 vertical planes and 2 horizontal planes. A this is the transpyloric plane or subcostal plane. B is the transtubercular plane. And these 2 are the paramedian or midclavicular line. So these 4 lines makes the anteroabdominal wall into 9 regions. So what is the importance of making these 9 regions? के छ त इम्पोर्टेन्स? के आइडिया छ?
सर पेनहरुको लोकेसन थाहा पाउन सकिन्छ कुन साइडमा हुँदो रहेछ?
For the location of the pain. अरु one is for the location of the pain of internal viscera, हैन? Next for the
कुन organ कुन साइडमा रहेछ त्यो नि जान्न सकिन्छ.
Of the organs, हैन? Visceral organs inside the abdominal cavity. One is the location of the pain, next is the location of the viscera inside the abdominal cavity. Approximate location of the viscera. So one भनेको this is the right hypochondriac region, 2 is the epigastric region, 3 is the left hypochondriac, 4 is the right lumbar umbilicus, left lumbar, right iliac fossa, hypogastric region, and left iliac fossa. So these are the 9 regions of the abdomen. So regions, right hypochondriac, epigastric, left hypochondriac, right lumbar, umbilical, left lumbar, right iliac region, hypogastric region or pubic region, and left iliac fossa or left iliac region. So transpyloric plane, this is very important for the MCQ, right? Transpyloric plane lies midway between the supraesternal notch of the manubrium and upper border of the pubic symphysis. Right? So transpyloric plane lies between the midway between supraesternal notch and manubrium sterni. It usually lies at the level of L1, right? First lumbar vertebra. Near its border, it meets the tip of 9 costal cartilage. It is very important for MCQ, right? Please note down. अर्को very important one is the यो सोच है. This italic bold sentence is very important for the MCQ and viva purpose. What are the structures lie behind transpyloric plane? This is very important. So what are the structures lies behind the transpyloric plane? The origin of the suprameandric artery, origin of the portal vein, the hilum of the left kidney. Some book says hilum of the both kidney, but some book says hilum of the left kidney. But the Gray's anatomy or Ramayana, Quran, Bible, that book says the hilum of only the left kidney, because the hilum of the right kidney is slightly lower than the left kidney. Then the origin of the renal arteries, the level of the duodenojejunal flexure, right? And the termination of the spinal cord. Some books say that pylorus may be found in the transpyloric plane. That's why it has got the name transpyloric plane. So this is very important, right? MCQ purpose. The following structures are corresponding with the transpyloric plane. A, B, C, D. अथवा एक्सेप्ट भनेर पनि जान्छ है। सो दिस आर द भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट। के रहेछ त ओरिजिन अफ सुपरिमेन्ट्रिक आर्टरी, ओरिजिन अफ पोर्टल भेन, हाइलम अफ द लेफ्ट किडनी, origin of the renal arteries, level of duodenojejunal flexure, termination of the spinal cord. Okay. So these structures corresponds with the transpyloric plane. Next is the transtubercular plane of the iliac crest and is traditionally reported at the level of L5. L5 यसमा कुन हुन्छ त भन्दा origin of the inferior vena cava. So transtubercular plane corresponds with the origin of the inferior vena cava from the joining of the two common iliac vein, right common iliac vein and left common iliac vein joins together to form the inferior vena cava at the level of L5, which corresponds to the transtubercular plane. So these are the organs related to the anteroabdominal wall regions. So in the right hypochondriac region, liver, gallbladder, right kidney, small intestine. In the epigastric region, stomach, liver, pancreas, duodenum, spleen, adrenal glands. In the left hypochondriac region, spleen, colon, left kidney, and pancreas. Right lumbar region, gallbladder, liver, right colon. Umbilical region, umbilicus, parts of small intestine, and duodenum. Left lumbar region, descending colon, and left kidney. Right iliac region, appendix, cecum. Hypogastric region, urinary bladder, sigmoid colon, female reproductive organs. Left iliac region, descending colon, sigmoid colon. So these are the visceral organs related with in the regions of anteroabdominal wall. So what are the layers of anteroabdominal wall? Skin, superficial fascia, external oblique muscle and its aponeurosis. Aponeurosis भनेको थाहा छैन हैन? Aponeurosis, it is the flattened tendon हैन? One is the tendon, pure tendon, in a cord-like structure. Next is the aponeurosis. Aponeurosis means एकदम flat tendon, thin type of flattened tendon is known as aponeurosis. Internal oblique muscle and its aponeurosis, transverse abdominis muscle and its aponeurosis, transversalis fascia, extraperitoneal tissue, then parietal peritoneum. So up to the 7th, these are the layers of anteroabdominal wall. So superficial fascia. It is divided into superficial fatty layer or fascia of Camper. So superficial fascia of the anteroabdominal wall is divided into superficial fatty layer, fascia of Camper, and deep membranous layer, fascia of Scarpa or Scarpa's fascia. Fascia of Scarpa or deep membranous layer, fascia of Camper or superficial fatty layer. So superficial fascia of anteroabdominal wall is divided into two types. Superficial fatty layer or fascia of Camper, deep membranous layer, fascia of Scarpa. The fatty layer is continuous with the superficial fat over the rest of the body and may be very thick, but the membranous layer is very thin. The deep layer of superficial fascia, that is membranous layer or Scarpa's fascia, which is very thin, and superficial layer or fascia of Camper, which is very thick. So this is the fascia of Camper or fatty layer. This is the fascia of Scarpa or Scarpa's fascia or membranous layer, which is very thin, and this is the thick layer. Outside thick, inside thin. Outside one is the fascia of Camper or superficial fatty layer, and deep membranous layer, that is Scarpa's fascia. This is also the same thing. And deep membranous layer continues downward as the superficial fascia of the penis and as well as the scrotum. And the scrotum is known as the Colles fascia or dartus muscle. Next is the muscles of anteroabdominal wall. Muscles of anteroabdominal wall or anterolateral muscles. Right? So this is the external oblique. External oblique, this is the aponeurosis. Aponeurosis means the flattened tendon. Right? So external oblique, sorry, gojima pocket ma hata lagste ke. It fiber goes like direction चाहिँ कसरी हुन्छ downward, forward and medially. Right? Downward, forward and medially. Just like putting the hand in the pocket. Right? Downward, forward and medially. Downward, this is the direction. Downward, forward and medially. Right? External oblique. Next is the internal oblique. Downward, forward, and laterally. Downward, backward, and lateral. Downward, backward. Just right angle to the external oblique. This is the direction of the external oblique. This is the direction of the internal oblique. Downward, backward, and laterally. Downward, forward, and medially. Downward, forward, and medially. External oblique. It's like putting the hand in the pocket. And downward, backward, and laterally. That is the direction of internal oblique. And this is the transverse abdominis muscle. Next is the inguinal ligament. So inguinal ligament, it is the thick lower border of the aponeurosis of external oblique muscle. So this is the inguinal ligament. It is found by the aponeurosis of the external. It is very important for the viva. Inguinal ligament, it is found by aponeurosis of from the external oblique muscle, or external oblique aponeurosis. It's folded backwards, and it forms the thick ligament, which extends from the anterior suprachiasmatic spine to the pubic tubercle. So extension of the inguinal ligament, it will be asked in the MCQ. Extension of the inguinal ligament, from the anterior superior iliac spine. This is the anterior superior iliac spine to the pubic tubercle. Extend, what do you write? From the anterior superior iliac spine to the pubic tubercle. That is the extension of the, or extent of the inguinal ligament. Formation, it is found by the external oblique aponeurosis muscle. Next is the mid-inguinal point and midpoint of inguinal ligament. What is the difference between midpoint of inguinal ligament and mid-inguinal point? Any idea about mid-inguinal point and midpoint of inguinal ligament? It is very important for the viva. That's okay?
Yes, sir.
Another.
Sir, mid-inguinal point midpoint between anterior superior iliac spine and pubic symphysis. And midpoint of inguinal ligament is the midpoint between anterior superior iliac spine and pubic tubercle.
Very good. Early bujho sabaile? Mid-inguinal point between the anterior superior spine and pubic symphysis. That is the mid-inguinal point. And midpoint of inguinal ligament is from the anterior superior spine to the pubic tubercle. So midway between the anterior superior spine and pubic tubercle, midpoint. That is the midpoint of inguinal ligament. Next is the mid-inguinal point. It will be asked in the surgery posting also. It is very important. So next is the rectus sheath. Rectus sheath, it is a long fibrous sheath that includes the rectus abdominis muscle and pyramidalis muscle if present. So rectus sheath, it is the fibrous sheath or aponeurotic sheath, which is found by the aponeurosis of the three muscles: external oblique aponeurosis, internal oblique aponeurosis, and transverse abdominis muscle. So these three muscles fuse together in the midline, and that will form the rectus sheath, which covers the rectus abdominis muscle. You know, six-pack app or that six-pack app is produced by the rectus abdominis muscle. It has got tendinous intersection between the muscle. Yes. So this is the rectus sheath. This is the rectus sheath, fibrous sheath, which is formed by the three anterolateral muscles of abdominal wall: external oblique aponeurosis, internal oblique aponeurosis, and transverse abdominis aponeurosis. So these three muscles fuse in the midline to form flattened tendon, that is known as rectus sheath. It encloses the one muscle that is known as rectus abdominis muscle. This is also the rectus sheath, anterior wall and posterior wall. So rectus sheath, this is very important for the SCQ, right? So rectus sheath, one is the formation by definition or formation. Next is the relations. Rectus sheath above the costal margin. So above the costal margin is the transverse section through the rectus abdominis muscle. So above the costal margin, only the anterior wall is formed by external oblique aponeurosis muscle. Right? So above the costal margin, anterior wall is formed by the this is the rectus abdominis muscle. So anterior wall is formed by the external oblique aponeurosis, and this rectus abdominis muscle directly rests on this costal cartilage. Directly rests on the costal cartilage, and between the costal margin and arcuate line, between the costal margin and arcuate line is this. This is the semilunar line, right? Semilunar line or semicircular line. This is known as arcuate line. So in between the costal margin and arcuate line, so it has got anterior wall as well as posterior wall. Above the costal margin, it has only got the anterior wall, right, of the rectus sheath. I am talking about the rectus sheath, right? These are the walls of the rectus sheath. So above the costal margin, anterior wall is formed by external oblique muscle, and rectus abdominis muscle directly rests on the costal cartilage. So posterior wall is absent. Right? The posterior wall is absent above the costal margin, and between the costal margin and arcuate line, it has got anterior wall as well as posterior wall. Right? So anterior wall is formed by the external oblique aponeurosis and internal oblique. Right? So this is the anterior wall. Right? Anterior wall is formed by external oblique. Then internal oblique, it has got two lamina, right? Anterior lamina and posterior lamina. So anterior wall is formed by the external oblique aponeurosis. Next is the anterior lamina of the internal oblique aponeurosis. Right? So anterior wall of the rectus sheath between the costal margin and arcuate line is formed by the external oblique aponeurosis. Next is the internal oblique. Here, this is the anterior lamina, this is the posterior lamina. Right? So internal oblique aponeurosis, anterior lamina of the internal oblique aponeurosis. So anterior wall is formed by the anterior lamina of the internal oblique, and the external oblique. Posterior wall is again formed by the posterior lamina of the internal oblique and transversus abdominis muscle. Any question? Below the arcuate line or semicircular line or line of Douglas, this is important for the MCQ. Line of Douglas is also known as arcuate line. Arcuate line, this is the arcuate line. So below the arcuate line, there is deficient of the posterior wall of rectus sheath. Right? There is absence of the posterior wall of the rectus sheath. Those three muscles making only the anterior wall of the rectus sheath, and rectus abdominis muscle directly rest on the fascia transversalis. So posterior wall is deficient below the arcuate line and above the costal margin. Only the anterior wall and posterior wall are complete between the costal margin and arcuate line. Very important for the SCQ, right? Please, you can ask question. This is very important one.
Very
excited. So rectus sheath, rectus sheath formation. So rectus sheath is formed by the aponeurosis of the three muscle. Rectus sheath is formed by the aponeurosis of the three muscle. Three muscle? External oblique, internal oblique, and transverse abdominis muscle ko aponeurosis. So rectus sheath is formed by the aponeurosis of all three anterolateral wall muscles: external oblique muscle, internal oblique muscle, and transverse abdominis muscle. So it has got different wall. So above the costal margin, the wall of the rectus sheath is formed by the external oblique aponeurosis muscle only. Only one muscle. Only one muscle, that is external oblique aponeurosis muscle. It forms the anterior wall of the rectus, and rectus abdominis muscle directly rests on this costal cartilage. So it has absence of posterior wall, but there is deficiency of the posterior wall of the rectus sheath. Above the costal margin. So above the costal margin, only the anterior wall of the rectus sheath. There is absence of posterior wall. अब बिट्विन द कोस्टल मार्जिन एन्ड आर्कुएट लाइन, आर्कुएट लाइन भनेको सेमी सर्कुलर लाइन हुन्छ जुन है। सो बिट्विन द कोस्टल मार्जिन एन्ड आर्कुएट लाइन anterior wall of the rectus sheath also present and posterior wall also present. So what will form the anterior wall of rectus sheath and what are the structures forming the posterior wall of rectus sheath between the costal margin and arcuate line? So anterior wall of the rectus sheath, it is formed by the external oblique aponeurosis muscle as well as internal oblique. Internal oblique, it divides into two lamina. This is the anterior lamina, this is the posterior lamina. So anterior lamina of the external internal oblique muscles, it will form the anterior wall. So this is the rectus abdominis muscle. So anterior lamina of the internal oblique muscle and mathiबाट के गएको छ त external oblique muscle. So external oblique aponeurosis as well as anterior lamina of the internal oblique muscles, that will form the anterior wall of the rectus sheath. कुन ठाउँमा? Between the costal margin and arcuate line. So in between the costal margin and arcuate line, anterior wall is formed by external oblique muscles and internal oblique, and this is the anterior lamina. Then posterior wall is formed by the posterior lamina of the internal oblique and transverse abdominis muscle. This duita. So anterior wall and posterior wall. In between the anterior wall and posterior wall, what is this brown structure? This is the rectus abdominis muscle. यो कुरा बुझ्नु पर्यो कि rectus sheath, it encloses the, यसलाई enclose गर्छ rectus abdominis muscle, right? So rectus sheath, it totally encloses the rectus abdominis muscle, right? अगाडि होस् पछाडिबाट हो, बीचमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ त अथवा तल के हुन्छ, that is rectus abdominis muscle. So rectus sheath, it is formed by the aponeurosis of the three muscle, हैन, external oblique, internal oblique and transversus abdominis. अब below the arcuate line चाहिँ again there is deficiency of the posterior wall. Okay? So anterior wall is formed by the all three anterolateral muscles: external oblique aponeurosis, internal oblique aponeurosis and transverse abdominis muscle. बुझ्यो यो? फेरि बुझेन भने भनिदिन्छु है मैले. This figure is very important, है? Above the costal margin, in between the costal margin and arcuate line, and below the arcuate line, है? Those three structures. अघि कुरा आयो, हैन? So these are the costal cartilage, 5, 6, 7 costal cartilage. These are the muscles resting on the 5, 6 and 7 costal cartilage. And this is the anterior wall of the rectus sheath, which is formed by the aponeurosis of the external oblique muscle. And in between the costal margin and arcuate line, anterior wall is formed by the external oblique and anterior lamina of the internal oblique. And posterior wall is formed by the posterior lamina of the internal oblique and transverse abdominis muscle. Right? In between the anterior and posterior wall, there is rectus muscle, rectus abdominis muscle. And again below the arcuate line, rectus abdominis muscle directly rests on the fascia transversalis. There is absence of the posterior wall. Only the anterior wall is present, right, below the arcuate line. यति कुरा याद राख कि anterior wall and posterior wall are present between the costal margin and arcuate line. Above the costal margin, there is also absence of posterior wall, and below the arcuate line, there is also the absence of posterior wall of rectus sheath. So above the costal margin, anterior wall is formed by the aponeurosis of external oblique muscle, and below the arcuate line, anterior wall is formed by aponeurosis of all three muscles. In the above the costal margin, rectus abdominis muscle rests on the 5, 6, 7 costal cartilage, and below the arcuate line, rectus abdominis muscle rests on directly on the fascia transversalis. So these three structures are important, right? Very important for the SCQ. Formation and walls. Next, contents of the rectus sheath. So what are the contents of contents? The rectus abdominis muscles, superior epigastric artery, inferior epigastric artery, right? So these are the contents. बुझ्या छ यहाँसम्म? ठीक छैन? लेख्न सकिन्छ हैन? अब formation, walls and contents of the rectus sheath. So rectus sheath is formed by rectus sheath.
Aponeurosis of abdominal 3 lateral muscles.
Anterolateral muscle, right? Lateral and anterolateral muscles of the abdomen. And the aponeurosis of the anterolateral wall muscles of the abdomen. These are external oblique, internal oblique, and transverse abdominis muscle. Right? So this rectus sheath it encloses the rectus abdominis muscle. Right? So rectus sheath encloses the rectus abdominis muscle. So what are the walls, Baba? Anterior wall above the costal margin. Anterior wall above the costal margin. It is formed by aponeurosis of external oblique muscle. Aponeurosis one and it is flat end tendon, flat or thin flat end tendon. That is known as aponeurosis simply. Right? So external oblique aponeurosis. Just so again inguinal ligament banaya. So inguinal ligament it is formed by which structure form the inguinal ligament?
Aponeurosis of external oblique muscle.
Right? Aponeurosis of external oblique muscle. Right? It forms the inguinal ligament. Right? Inguinal ligament extends from the anterior superior spine to the pubic tubercle, right? Not pubic symphysis. Pubic tubercle. Anterior superior spine to the pubic tubercle. That is the extension of the inguinal ligament. Same way, 5, 6, and 7 costal cartilage. Above the costal cartilage, above the 5, 6, and 7 costal cartilage, anterior wall of rectus sheath is formed by aponeurosis of external oblique muscle, and in between the costal margin and arcuate line, anterior wall is formed by the external oblique aponeurosis and anterior lamina of the internal oblique. It's a divide. Okay? Internal oblique divides into splits into 2 lamina, anterior lamina and posterior lamina. So anterior lamina of internal oblique, it will form the anterior wall, and posterior lamina as well as the transverse abdominis muscle, it will form the posterior wall. And in between this, there is the presence of rectus abdominis muscle. Mathik anterior wall, while this is the posterior wall. In between this, there is rectus abdominis muscle. So anterior wall is formed by external oblique aponeurosis and anterior lamina of internal oblique. Then posterior wall is formed by the posterior lamina of internal oblique and transverse abdominis muscle. Right? So this figure below the arcuate line, again there is deficiency of the posterior wall of the rectus sheath. Rectus sheath को